Since starting dialysis, keeping on top of answering comments has been really difficult for me. However, I do still read them, and every once in a while I come across one that makes a video request that I think would be a really good video. Today is one of those days, so let's jump into it. Hi everybody, today I am going to be talking about how to stay consistent with sitting down to plan weekly when you're struggling with that. I actually got a comment from one of you on one of my videos. It was from Carrie. They said, please do a video about struggling to sit down and plan every week. Like, I know life would go so much smoother if I do, but other stuff always fills that space. I totally feel that, P.S. This has been something I have struggled with in the past. I know, deep in my soul know that when I sit down and plan my life out weekly, my whole life goes smoother. Even if I'm not great at sticking to my planner all week, by getting everything out on paper, reviewing what goes on in the week, figuring out what my to-dos are, etc., my life has a higher chance of staying on track. This is something that I have known for years, but that doesn't mean that I don't go through phases where it becomes hard for me to stick to it. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you 5 tips. I have to keep pausing and stopping because I'm filming in my bedroom and the windows are open because we're in the spring of deception and it is 84 degrees in my house, and I'm not gonna swelter for you. I'm not gonna swelter for you, YouTube. I'm not going that far. So today I'm gonna give you 5 tips on how to stay consistent with sitting down weekly and planning your life out, especially when you struggle with doing that. All right, so let's jump right into it. Tip number 1 can feel a little cliche, but it actually works, and that is to define why weekly planning is important to you. I know it's cliche. I know the goal planners and the motivational speakers and the Rachel Hollises of the world all are like, yeah, define your why, but there's a reason for that. It can really be really helpful to motivate you to keep coming back to your planner. But it's not as easy as just like, because my life is better when I weekly plan. That's not really gonna motivate you. You need to kind of get to the heart of it. So keep asking yourself questions. Keep trying to hammer home until you get something specific that feels like it will actually motivate you. For me, for example, my first why might be, because planning my week out means that my life stays on track. Okay, well that's important, but that's not really specific. So how does it keep my life on track? Well, I have very specific times in my life where I have missed appointments because I didn't plan my week out. So staying on top of my appointments and not having to pay no-show fees is much more motivating than because it keeps my life on track. Another reason I like to weekly plan is because it gives me some time each week to get a little bit creative. But again, that's not really motivating for me, especially as somebody who has had a habit over the years of pushing my personal hobby time to the side for everybody else. So saying, it gives me time to be creative doesn't really help. But if I can be creative on Sunday planning my week out, then that means on Monday I have a higher chance of not being as cranky as I am on Mondays and as frazzled. So it means I go into my week feeling a little better, which means my whole family's in a better mood because I'm in a better mood. Really try to get to a substantive, really just specific reason that it can be good for you to weekly plan, because that might help motivate you. Something more than just a general blasé statement. My second tip is to identify a time that, generally speaking, you could fit planning into. Leaving it on say, well, I'll do it on Sundays. And then on Sundays, you're like, okay, I'll sit down to plan. Oh wait, the kids need something. I'm gonna sit down to plan. Oh wait, I have to go grocery shopping. I'm gonna sit down to plan. It's laundry time. It's very easy to just sort of push it off. But if you have a pocket of time that tends to be a little bit more laid back or open, that you don't tend to do things. For me on Saturdays, as an example, I don't do dialysis on Saturdays, and Saturdays tend to be my catch-up day where I run a whole bunch of errands and do laundry and wash my sheets and hopefully do something fun. It's like a day we try to cram a whole bunch in. So I know that on Saturdays, if I was going to sit down to weekly plan, just leaving it for the day and doing it when I can get to it, chances are it's gonna cruise right to the bottom of the list. However, on Saturday mornings, because I'm not taking kids to school and I don't have to worry about getting up to do dialysis, I like to kind of lounge in bed and then get up and have my coffee and sort of spend the first half an hour, 45 minutes just sort of being in my robe on the couch, playing Candy Crush. It's chill and it's quiet, and it's my kind of moment in the mornings to sort of the one time during the week that doesn't feel go, go, go. that could be a great time to say, okay, I will use this time to just have my planner out. Because for me, planning my week is not stressful. It's fairly relaxing, just writing things out. Like whether it's going to be a stressful week or not, actually writing things down is not super stressful for me. So if I just pulled my planner out while I was relaxing with my coffee, I could get it done during a time I usually don't do anything anyway. So if you can find a pocket of time like that, think about making that your planning time. Like just making it easy, continuing to do whatever you're doing, drinking your coffee, sitting outside, lounging in bed, watching TV. What if you're like watching reality TV that you don't need to pay a huge amount of attention to? I know a lot of people who use that as their weekly planning time. They spread out on their bed, watch their Love is Blind or whatever it is, and plan. So that could be a way for you to fit it into a time that's much more downtime and much less go time. Don't make your planning time compete with other things that you're doing. Try and fit it in a time where it's a little slower. This kind of goes right into my next tip. They all kind of flow into each other, and that is to make it ridiculously easy. Don't overcomplicate things. And this is coming from somebody who is the master of overcomplicating things. I know that in the planner community, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us tend to be hella extra, right? We tend to, stickers and washi and pens and markers and all the things, buy all the things and all the things, right? Make it easy on yourself. I don't generally use a planner tote because I plan in one of two places usually, either in my dialysis chair and I just use one pen because I can't really do anything else, I only have one hand, or at my desk, so I have all my shit around me. But if you are looking for those pockets of time, make it easy on yourself. Put things in a planner tote. Resist the urge to go to like your favorite influencer's Amazon storefront and just buy all the things to fill it so that it's not floppy or whatever. Just put some stuff in a bag that you're going to use so that when you do have that pocket of time, you don't have to think too hard. You're reducing the number of decisions you have to make. You're able to just grab it and sit down and start working on it. One way you could facilitate this is at the beginning of the month, go through and pick out what you want to do each week. You're not beholden to it. You can always change. You can pick out what stickers or markers or colors or washi tape or whatever that you want to use and kind of bag it up or whatever and have it together so that you can either pick for that week or you can already have your week set up. It's kind of like picking your clothes out for the next day, right? Reduce as many decisions as you have to make because it'll reduce the number of barriers between you sitting down and actually getting your planning done. On that same note though, my fourth tip is to simplify. If even the thought of what I just said stresses you out or feels like too much, then fuck it all. Just go to pen and paper. Go do a simple situation, just pen and paper. Maybe what I've been doing lately, because I'm actually really enjoying it, is just using a highlighter, a dot pen, a pen, and maybe a brush marker. And that's it. Just very simple, writing things out on my page because it reduces, again, the barrier to entry for getting started. I love being extra. I love fucking stickers. I don't love fucking stickers. That's weird. I love stickers. I love washi tape. I love all the things. But sometimes all the things just feels like too much. And if you're already struggling to sit down and plan, then overwhelming yourself might be the worst possible thing to do. So maybe you just simplify and don't worry about all the extra bullshit and just sit down and get your pen to paper every week and then get the creativity later when you feel more confident in the habit that you've built up. On top of that, simplifying generally reduces the amount of time you have to spend planning in the first place, which may make it easier for you to slip it into one of those quiet moments. If it takes me 10 minutes to really plan out my week when I'm just using a pen versus an hour when I'm using stickers and washi tape. And I know I do plan with me's and shit. That does keep me on it. But I will let you in on a little secret. Sometimes when I am feeling extra overwhelmed, if I have over-stickered my planner or used a shit ton of stickers, that might keep me from using it for the rest of the week because I'm so overwhelmed. In a time right now where I am really just using pen and highlighter, some of it is an aesthetic thing, but some of it is just an overwhelm thing, and this is what is getting me through, and I'm just gonna go with it. So simplify. My final tip, and this may not apply to you, but this may also very much apply to you, don't sweat the white space. Whether you are a no white space sticker planner or you just use a pen and paper, don't feel like your shit has to be filled up. You can leave things blank. It's okay to leave things blank. Don't feel guilty about it. If you're trying to sit down and use your planner each week and you put in what you've got for the week and then you don't add more stuff the rest of the week, as long as you feel comfortable with what you're doing, you should be just fine. I'm a completionist. I really love having like a totally full looking spread at the end of the year to look back on. But I've had to really let that go because sometimes I just don't, whether I had a headache that day and I didn't do anything else, or I was super busy that day and I was functioning off of a Post-it note, whatever, no big deal, right? Although one fun thing you could do is stick that Post-it note in your planner as a record. Just focus on sitting down and getting your thoughts for the week kind of in place, and don't worry about the rest of it until you're really confident with your weekly planning, and then maybe you can worry about the rest of it. But trying to worry about everything at once never does any good. All it does is make you not do anything. So those are my tips. I hope they were helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips for sticking to weekly planning when you struggle with it. Thank you, Carrie, for making this suggestion. And if you have any suggestions for videos like this for my channel, let me know in the comments below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, friends, peace.